fucking cool.
Women are so fucking cool.
Hey, I'm happy you're here. I'm happy to share another fucking cool woman. Woohoo! This is the FCW Society's podcast, otherwise known as Women Are So Fucking Cool. I'm Joanne Morton, and I am the host and the founder of FCW Society. I am very honored to say that's something I've done because I've had the opportunity to meet so many fucking cool women. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. And today, I'm talking to Chelsea Simpson. She is somebody I met recently, just in the last year at a business networking event, and we got to collaborate with my creative art project, the Manifesting Mobile, with her day job, which is the Girl Scouts, and it was amazing. And then I wanted to invite her to be a guest, and I discovered so much more about her. And I really love that she shared how important communities of women are so valuable. And I 100% agree, which is why we have a society. And but she's also writing a book, and I just really was really inspired by her. And one other thing that she shared with me, she said, "Thank you for letting me share her story." And I think that really rang true for me because sharing is the best part of what we have to offer anybody. We could share ideas, share love, share positive energy, share space that they can be seen, sharing. And I have one more thing I'm going to say, and like that Chelsea's going to start talking. But when you are aware, then you care, and that's when you share. So the more that we're aware that there are so many fucking cool women doing really cool stuff, we can care about what they're doing and support them and align our skills and talents with them. And then we can just share it. And there's always enough. So I hope you enjoy this. I know you will. And if you like this podcast, please like it, share it, make a comment. And really, if you really like it, we do have a Patreon site, and all those links are below, as well as the links to follow Chelsea Simpson. So here we go. Hey, thank you so much for being here. Let's start talking. Let's start talking to each other. So Chelsea, I'm so grateful that we've met and that we came into each other's lives through your professional work, which is with the Girl Scouts.
Yes.
And I know that they're a FCW organization.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to come on today. I wanted to bring on because you're more than your job. You are, your experiences and who you are. And I'd love to get your insight on what you think a fucking cool woman is.
Absolutely. Well, first, thank you so much for having me on today. To have an opportunity to just kind of share is just beautiful. Fucking cool women, right? I would say a woman that really just thinks about her community, she comes together and makes things happen. I would say that that would be the basis to me of a fucking cool woman.
And explain on that more. What sort of kind of core values do you think? What do you think inspires her
Right.
to put her community as a priority?
And that's the thing. It's about our unique things. Each of us have such unique qualities, backgrounds, things we've been through. So to give a more general concept to it is what is beautiful to me. I think about different women I've come across that have just been amazing, and some were, the social butterflies that are out there and all the time and talking to someone and doing something, and some are very introverted and quiet, but they still come together for their community in different ways, bringing what is special about them to the table and making things happen to make the world a better place, really.
Yeah, I feel that. And one of the things that when you're talking about community,
I've been around different women business organizations, and so many women business owners have a tendency to give back to community more so than their male counterparts. Not judging, just making an observation. And I also, one of the reasons we started FCW Society, and one of the reasons I am such an advocate for doing this kind of work, is I'm a feminist.
Okay.
And there's power in understanding the power of feminism.
Yes.
And it really does uplift equality for all.
Yes.
So how do you feel like that's a part of why we are so committed?
Well, I think about some of the words you just used.
Mhm.
Feminist, community, these are words that at their core can have a similar meaning, but to each person they mean something a little bit different, right? So the word feminist and how I feel about it, and it's exactly that. It's uplifting the community, the atmosphere, the people around you, the things around you. And that includes both men, women, everything in between, and
Mhm.
a plus, and that is just such, I mean, that's it, right?
Yeah.
That's the core basis.
Yeah, it really, really is. And that's what's for me, it gets frustrating sometimes because you're like, I want equality for everybody,
Yes.
but that's where when you come to the 3 core values that we have: respect,
Mhm.
encourage, and celebrate.
And that's so perfect. And as you mentioned, my background with Girl Scouts, our motto is building girls of courage, confidence, and character.
Mm-hmm.
To make the world a better place.
Yeah.
So, that's right. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And so we also know so many fucking cool women.
Yes.
And I would love for you to share some of the women that you have experienced respect, encouragement, and celebration from.
Respect, encouragement, celebration. Right out the gate, the first woman that comes to mind is my own mother.
Nice.
She was exactly all those things and instilled all those things in me and many others. Other women I think about, Maya Sirik. She works over at America's Second Harvest. She was a mentor to me for many years and still is to this day. I actually had an amazing conversation with her, and she's just one of those powerhouse women that, she encourages and uplifts those around her. Some of my favorite memories of working alongside her was her coming into the office in the morning and just singing and saying, okay, we're gonna lift up this atmosphere today. We're gonna be happy and bring up the energy because we got some things to get done. And I just love that. And then another woman right off the bat that comes to mind, Misty Harvest. I don't know if you've had the pleasure of meeting Misty, but
I have a funny story about Misty Harvest. We were both invited to this dinner that Linda Wilder Bryan,
yes,
a councilwoman. I don't know if were you there? I can't remember.
I was not there now.
Okay, wait, we're both there, but they accidentally put my face picture.
This was you.
Yeah.
She told me this story. Oh my goodness.
I would love to meet. I made friends with her on Facebook,
yes.
but I've never met her. And I was like, I think, I need to see you.
Yes, Misty. Oh my goodness.
Oh, so wonderful. How fucking cool. Of course she's fucking cool.
She's a very fucking cool woman. And let me tell you about Misty Harvest. If it comes across her desk, she gets that phone call. I don't care what it is. She's going to help.
Wow.
She's going to help. A perfect example of this is the hurricane that just came through. We all heard about the flooding in Bryan County, right?
Mm-hmm.
That had just happened. Well, everyone knew about the Richmond Hill side of Bryan County that flooded, but no one was really talking about the Pembroke side. And there were people living in their cars in gas station parking lots. She got a phone call. She called everyone.
Wow.
Including our representatives and
wow.
the mayor and don't ask me how she got the numbers. I can't tell you, but she made things happen. She got those supplies split to be among both. And because, it's such a big gap of Bryan County with the base in the middle.
Yeah.
People just don't realize. And she helped them. And she helped them get into dry clothes. She helped them get food. She helped them get places to stay, all by connecting her community together.
Yeah.
And that's a fucking cool woman.
Yeah.
And she had no skin in the game.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's amazing. And again, it's just, these women that come into our lives for a short moment of time or a long moment of time.
Yes.
They're so, no, yeah.
That's exactly right. In 2015, I actually started a all-female nonprofit group. And what it was about was they put on fundraising events for different nonprofits. Every month, once a month, we would pick a different one. Just what cause did we want to embrace? And help in whatever way we can. And we did, and we had a lot of fun with it. And what we didn't see coming is, as much as we were helping others, we were helping each other. And the women ranged from 21 all the way up into their 60s. And we all it just brought out some of the best youthful sides of us. And to this day, I'm still in contact with many of those women. And what I don't think that they realize is this was during a time in my life that I was actually in an abusive relationship. I'm now out and a survivor. But those women in our mission, they are who kept me going during that time. They are what kept Chelsea alive. Because I think a lot of time as women, we get these titles in life: mother, employee, wife, girlfriend, what have you. And we forget that we're also a woman. And we forget that we're also Chelsea, And I would say that during that time, those women helped me remember that.
Right. You bring up a really good, kind of good observation. What does it, so what FCW is, who they are, but why are they so important?
Right.
Why is it so important to be a fucking cool woman so you can be a fucking cool woman to other fucking cool women?
It's a circle. It really is.
And because you want to put your attention on the positive, on what's uplifting.
Yes.
And even though there may be challenges out there, this is the time to gravitate to the people who are fucking cool.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember a time, and it's very common when you leave an abusive relationship, because you tend to find that they hide it. So everyone on the outside thought I had this beautiful marriage and was happy, So when it came out to the light, I found that I was not believed. And I came up with this motto, and it stuck with me, and it now stays with me. And I tell anyone I can. And it's, my actions are going to speak louder than others' words. And I really live by that. And now here we are years later. I'll tell you what, I had Easter dinner with those same people, and I didn't hold against them those rough times because I understood, and they grew and they learned, and now they're fucking cool women.
Yeah, I think, we have to give people the opportunity to evolve and change.
Yes.
Absolutely. We have to.
Yes.
I think that's the most important thing. Because you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. And there's been so many times that I have even been that person that didn't know what I didn't know, and I had to grow and change. And I'm just thankful for the people who, didn't write me off or talk bad about me. Yeah. So true. So true. You are writing a book. Yes.
What do you want to share about that book? Something you want to share.
So I'm writing a book. It's called Healing with Help from the Village. It's set to publish this year, by the summer. this is a memoir. And I'll tell you what my publisher said whenever I told her I was writing a memoir. In fact, she gave me that language of it's a memoir. She goes, Chelsea, you are 30, now 32. At the time I was 31. You're 31 years old. And you're about to talk about stuff that you just went through. Imagine the impact that's going to have on not only people your age, but people of all ages to see that bravery, that vulnerability. And I think that's it. That's the basis, is if as people, as a society, as in culture, we can find a way to be vulnerable and share our stories, there's healing power in that, and I think you'll see in my book the different people who touched my life across time that sometimes I didn't even realize it, like the women a part of my nonprofit group in 2015. There's even a point that I was homeless and I was living from friend's couch to friend's couch. And I'll tell you right now, I didn't know I was homeless. I did not realize that at the time when I was going through it. I just thought I was going through a hard time and I had people who were helping me. And that's what healing is. It's the people around you and the hard work you're doing yourself and having the space to do that.
Yeah, it's really true. I'm hoping that becomes a new norm.
Yes, I think we've seen it a lot in the mental wellness movement that's really happened. People aren't as taboo thinking towards mental wellness, therapy, and sharing.
Yeah.
I think that you really see it, especially among the generation behind me, and right, what is it, Gen Z? They'll tell you, you need to check your mental wellness.
Yeah.
Like in a heartbeat.
I love that. Yeah.
And I love that because, I think we've seen that slowly grow from generation to generation.
Totally. Yeah. Well, I'm talking to my younger sister who's menopausal age. I'm menopausal age, whatever. But we're the first generation to actually talk about menopause.
Yes.
My mothers didn't talk about that. So, I'm just like talking about it. People, actresses are talking about it.
I was talking to a colleague of mine the other day, and we were talking about how much people did not talk about menopause, and you don't know some of the things that are common. You just know like these broad strokes from Hollywood of what menopause is,
or a joke
about it. But you don't hear about the dry skin. You don't hear about the sleepless nights. You don't hear about things that really affect your daily life.
I know. Or you don't hear about them that they don't have any of those symptoms.
Yeah,
I didn't have that many symptoms.
That's amazing. Yeah,
so we're all different. Yeah. So yeah. So I do think we're changing. We're disrupting the status quo. I love disrupting.
Disrupting. That is it. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's really what I hope to do with my book. It's disrupt what people maybe expect. I think, especially being such a public figure and being in this community so much, people have a certain thought process of who I am today. And I've been told things like, you're confident, you're a go-getter, which I'm like, oh gosh, but no, it's right that you should take ownership of the good qualities about yourself, because we think about the bad qualities about ourselves. And this book is really going to show people how I got to where I am, that I can sit here and talk with you today confidently. Because I'll tell you, 12 years ago would not have been the case. Yeah. I did not have that strength. And it's going to disrupt, I think, some people's images of me. And my only hope is that it will be embraced.
Well, you have a society of fucking cool women who will be embracing you. So whether you know them or not, so that's the power in this, knowing that there is FCWs everywhere.
There really is. And, you know, so my book, it kind of goes through my journey of growing up in poverty and facing child abuse, and then getting married at a very young age, meeting my ex-husband when I was 16 years old, going through a decade-long abusive marriage, and then getting out of that and overcoming poverty and overcoming, you know, abuse, and becoming a survivor and an advocate. And I would say, if there was one person, and I still say, if there's one person that reads my story and heals or has strength from it, then that's all I can ever hope for.
Mhm.
And a really fucking cool woman reached out to me about a month ago. And I've shared my story as I've gone through it. And she said, Chelsea, I'm at the domestic violence shelter right now. And I got me and my children out. And I need you to know that it's because of you sharing your story. What a fucking cool woman.
Yeah.
And I think that's it right there, ladies.
Yeah, I think so too.